Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you how to get Zoom meeting transcripts in just 5 lines of code using Realtime Media Streams and the RTMS Node.js SDK. So to get started, first head to our docs and make sure your app has the right features. Click here to add RTMS features to your app, and you'll see docs on what you'll need. You'll need an event subscription for RTMS's started and stopped events to notify your app when media is available in a meeting. And you'll also need a scope for the media format that you want. In this case, we're only going to want transcripts. So for this tutorial, I've already created this app. I've created an app and called it RTMS Quick Start. And I've added an event subscription here and with the right events for started and stopped. You'll also see here that I've added the meeting transcript scope. This is all that we're going to need. We'll come back though for our client ID and secret. So to get started, we'll create a new project. And we're going to create that as a new node project. Then we're going to install the Zoom RTMS SDK. What the SDK is going to do for us is handle those incoming webhook events and connect to media streams on our behalf, making the access to transcripts really simple. So let's open this up. When we open this up, you'll see we have a package.json file. This is our boilerplate from that Node app. We're going to want we're going to want this to be a module to use ES modules. And then we're also going to want a new start script. So we're going to add a new start script here, node index.js. And we're going to want to add that to load up our environment variables from a .env file that doesn't exist yet. So what we'll do here is do --env -file equals .env. Save this, and what we have now is a start script that loads in our environment variables and runs our file. So create that .env file, and what we're going to want to do here is add ZM client. Actually, it's ZM RTMS client equals and ZM RTMS secret equals. Awesome. So here we're going to drop in our client ID. And we're also going to add in our client secret, but I don't want you all to see my secret. So I'm going to move this over here, drop this in, and come back. Awesome. So then my .env file has now my client ID and secret from the app. Now let's create an index.js file for us to run this in. 5 lines of code. So what we're going to first do is import RTMS from @Zoom RTMS. Then what we're going to run is that RTMS SDK's event handler. So RTMS on webhook event is going to give us a payload from the webhook. So we're going to say payload here. This payload is going to contain the signaling and the media servers that our app is going to connect to. So let's do this as a function here to join RTMS.join the data in that payload here. Cool. And when that RTMS session is joined, we're going to want to handle the transcript data that comes in. And so if we do RTMS/on, we'll see that we have on audio data, on video data, but what we want is on transcript data. And that data is going to give us data, size of the packets, timestamps for that data, and metadata from the user and meeting in the meeting and the users in the meeting. All we're going to do here is actually just console log our transcripts. So let's do there and take this back. Cool. So all we're going to do is we're going to console log the, what is it called? The metadata. Sorry, so metadata dot user name and data. Perfect. And this is going to send that transcript to our server when it's ready. This is all we need. So if we run back into our terminal, we'll run the app with that start script we created. And this is going to open up a listening event for our port on 8080. But Zoom webhooks need to deliver to an HTTPS endpoint, which our local server is not. So for this, we're going to use something like ngrok. In your terminal, run ngrok http 8080, and it'll bring up a URL for you to copy in and use as a forwarding address to your local tunnel. Go back to your Zoom app here, and under your event subscription, make sure this destination is added here as your event notification endpoint URL. Otherwise, we should be all set. You'll notice here that the app is now installed for this user. So go ahead and install the user, and under your account settings, in your user or account-wide settings, under Zoom apps here, you can also set the app to auto start when a meeting begins. And we're going to use that today to show you here. So now that our app is running, we're going to launch a meeting. You'll see here that our application received that client ID, received the meeting RTMS started event, initialized, connected to the stream, and now is ready for us to start sending data. So if I start speaking in the meeting, you'll now see that transcripts are being sent to our server. And this is going to be isolated to each participant in the meeting, giving you metadata and speaker timestamps with a diarized timeline of who said what in the meeting. So if I start saying funky things like, I walked into a burning ring of fire, I went down, 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 and the rains went higher, you'll notice that this is really valuable data for us to be building on. And it only took 5 lines of code for us to get. But what if it was even crazier? What if we did something... What if we didn't necessarily need it to be, I don't know, readable? This is actually really, really straightforward. Let's stop our meeting here. So we'll close there. We'll stop the meeting. And now I'm going to show you how to do this in just one kind of crazy, but usable line of code. So here, what if we did import R from Zoom RTMS, and on that webhook event, identify the payload as P, and on transcript data from the RTMS, we just logged that metadata's username and the data, and then joined. Here, let's run this again. This is one, some would say beautiful, others would say unusable line of code. Let's start our server there. Restart our application. You'll see this data start to come in. We'll unmute ourselves and start saying things like, in a world of steel-eyed death and men fighting to be warm, come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Thanks, everyone. Hope this was helpful. See you.